Hi, I'm Jeff and welcome to my kitchen. This is obviously not a woodworking project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a roasted chicken. This is a Costco chicken, so every time my wife goes to Costco, she generally brings one of these home. Chicken is great, but I really love taking the carcass and the bones and making stock. We always have fresh chicken stock in the fridge that we use for other things, and I'm going to show the process how I go about doing that. So in this particular instance, I don't have everything I need in the fridge, so I'm just going to break this down first. I'm going to remove all the meat that's going to be put in the fridge to make sandwiches or whatever we're going to do with it. I'm taking this container here and I left the juice in it, so this is the container that it came in. I'm going to break it down, and into here is going to go the bones, the ligaments, the cartilage, the skin, all of this stuff that's not meat. That's the magical stuff that really makes for a great stock. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to zoom in and do that. While I do that, I have a nice sharp chef's knife. Not a huge one. I'm going to have one sort of dirty hand and one clean hand, so let's get that done first. So I'm going to turn the Instant Pot on saute, let that start warming up, and I'm going to set up and start doing my veg here. So start with an onion. I'm going to take off the roots. And then I'm just going to sort of rough chop this, leaving the skin on. Add a little bit of olive oil to the Instant Pot. And then these onions with the skins are going right in there. So the skins are going to add some really nice color to the stock when it's done. I have some garlic here. So because all of these veg that are going to be discarded at the end, so they don't need to be pretty. Keeping your cuts consistent isn't super important, particularly since we're cooking at pressure. So this garlic I'm just going to smash, and I'm going to leave those in the skins as well. Put them over here, and they're going to wait until the onion is cooked down a little bit. Any sort of veg you have in the fridge, anything that's sitting around is fair game, I think, to go into a stock. So I got some scallions, always great to have more aromatics than less. Put that over here. If you have some veggies that are just starting to get a little bit limp before they're really bad, celery is a good example of that. That's a great time to use it. So all this celery is going to go in there. I leave the leaves. And then I've got some baby carrots here as well. That's probably good. And now, so now my prep is all done. So this is just starting. We'll let these sweat down for a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and add some fresh ground black pepper. I'm going to add some coarse sea salt as well. You can always wait and season at the end if that's your preference. It's all good. I love that smell. So these are just starting to turn a little bit translucent, so now I'm going to throw in the garlic with the skins, celery with the leaves, carrots, and the scallions. But I'm going to add some oregano. This may be a little controversial, but I'm going to add some curry powder. Certainly not traditional for chicken stock. I don't put a ton in there because I don't want it to just taste like curry, but that really, even that little bit adds a ton of depth to the complexity to the flavor of the stock at the end. I think I want a tiny bit more oil. So here I have the chicken carcass from yesterday. So most of the time I'll just make it immediately, but you know, I didn't have all the veg I wanted, so we're making it the next day. Occasionally I'll take this and throw it in the freezer if I already have stock, and then I can just thaw it out when I'm ready. So all this good stuff goes in there. And any of that juice and gelatin from the bottom here, you want to get that if you can as well. You don't want to lose any of that flavor. Okay, now I'm going to add a bay leaf. That's kind of small, so I'll actually do 2. And this is super, super important. Apple cider vinegar. So I'm not measuring this, but I'm going to do about maybe 2 tablespoons. So the magic of the vinegar is it lowers the pH, and the acidity helps to dissolve some of the collagen from all of these connective tissues in here, and that's really going to, you know, lend to the structure and the mouthfeel of this stock. You're going to get a really beautifully velvety mouthfeel. I'm going to turn off the saute function. I'm going to add water. Feel free to use a little bit of white wine, maybe some beer, if you want those flavors in there as well. I go till it's just covered. Now I'm going to put the lid on. So I'm going to set this to pressure cook. Go to pressure cook function. I'm going to go 1.5 hours. Not because for any specific reason. It doesn't need anywhere near that long. But I'm just going to go and do other stuff, so it doesn't really matter. Get that started. This is going to heat up in pressure. An hour and a half at pressure in the Instant Pot is like cooking probably an entire day on the stove top. So you're gonna really do an amazing job of extracting all that flavor and nutrients out of there. The one big difference between doing this and the classic French technique of doing it on the stove top slowly, in that you would normally scoop the scum of coagulating proteins off of the top as you go to end up with a really clear stock. This is not going to be clear, but the flavor is going to be just outstanding. Okay, so this is done. I let it natural release for about 12 or so minutes. I'm going to let the rest of the pressure off, and then we'll transfer it into this bowl. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, this is still boiling like crazy. I normally do this transfer in the sink, but that would be pretty hard to film. So we'll do it here, and I will be careful to try not to burn myself. Okay, this I'm going to let cool down till it's close to room temp. I'm going to put the lid on it, then it's going to go in the fridge overnight. So being in the fridge, all the fat is going to float to the top and separate out. It's going to firm up, and then we'll come back tomorrow, take that fat off, and then it'll be done. So this is blazing hot right now, but let's give it a little taste. Yeah, it's awesome. So run the clock, and then we'll come back tomorrow. So here we are. It's actually 2 days later. I didn't get it to it yesterday. Just pulled this out of the fridge. Let's see what we got. So there's this beautiful skin, fat on the top. So I'm going to scoop this out of here. And rather than throwing this away, this is really good stuff to cook with. So we're going to hold on to that. So you can just see in that color, there's so much flavor in that. So that'll just get some plastic wrap on it and go in the fridge. And depending on what I'm using the stock for, I don't mind if there's a little bit of fat in there. That's just lots of flavor. And if you take a look, see how that jiggles? So that is just chock full of the gelatin from the connective tissues. It's really denatured collagen from that chicken. So that's going to go in the fridge. Any recipe that needs chicken stock, just go and grab it. So I hope you enjoyed. Please feel free to try this on your own. It's an awesome way to make use of something that's effectively trash. And I appreciate you watching. If you're interested in more cooking stuff, please leave me a comment down below. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks for watching.